Hello and welcome! In this video, I'll walk you through how to complete the new group registration form step by step. During your Intent to Organize meeting, your sole advisor will go over the registration process and provide you with a link to this form. Once you have access, follow along with this guide to ensure a smooth submission. Let's get started. As you go through the form, you'll notice that some sections have a red asterisk. These fields are required and must be filled out before you can submit the form. Anything without the red asterisk is optional, and you can skip that section if you'd like. Most clubs do. You'll also see repeated sections that ask for the same information in different places. Be mindful of how you enter your information to keep it consistent throughout the form. The first section is called Group Registration Details. In the Group Name section, type in your club's full name exactly as discussed with your sole advisor. As discussed in Nuts and Bolts and during your Intent to Organize meeting, do not include the university name in this section. This is a common mistake. Only your club's actual name will be listed here. As a reminder, you do not belong to the university. You just operate on the university's campus, so your name will not include the school's name. For this example, I will type Unicorn Club. Next is the group acronym section. Create a short version of your club's name. This acronym, or mini name, will be used to create a URL for your group website on CampusGroups. So here I'm going to type UniC. In the Categories section, you will select the category you discussed with your sole advisor. You cannot select more than one club category, so make sure you select the correct one. For this example, my club falls under the Special Interest category. Next is the Logo section, which is optional. If you have a logo, you can upload it here, and don't forget to include alt text to make the images accessible for people that use screen readers. Additionally, please be mindful of the logo policies as they were outlined in your Nuts and Bolts workshop. You can also refer to the Marketing and Publicity section of the Student Organization's Handbook. If you don't have a logo, you can leave this blank and you can move on. If you would like to upload a logo, click Upload. Once you've selected your image, this pop-up window will open. Feel free to change any of the filters or add anything else. Once you're ready, click the Save button on the top right corner of this pop-up window. To add alt text, add it here to this text box. The Membership Benefits section is also optional, so you can leave this blank if you'd like. Now, in the Mission Statement section, you will need to copy and paste your exact mission statement from your club's constitution under the Purpose section. This must match exactly, or your sole advisor will ask you to resubmit the form. The Goals section is optional, so I will leave this blank. This is the Constitution section, but before we do anything, you want to make sure to save your Constitution document to your computer first. Now that you have done that, you can click the Upload button and attach your Word document. Once your document has uploaded, make sure to click the button that says Done on the bottom right corner of this pop-up window. The second section of the first page is the officers. As reviewed in your Nuts and Bolts training, you are required to have both a president and a treasurer in order to be a club, and both of them must be elected. Here you have the option of adding 3 additional officers below as either Officer C, D, or E. But if you do add them, they must have met the exact same requirements as the president and the treasurer. Only officers who attended Nuts and Bolts this academic year and have an approved officer agreement are eligible to be added to the registration form. Again, if you choose to add more officers, they must meet the same eligibility requirements as the president and the treasurer. There are no exceptions to this rule. This section autofills names as you type, so be careful when selecting a name, especially if the person has a common name. Double check their email to make sure you have the right person. As a reminder, your advisor does not belong in this section. This is strictly for student officers of the club. Your advisor will be added only to the very last page of this form. Once you've added your officers, click Next on the bottom part of your page. This section will ask for your club's information again. In the organization name section, enter the name exactly as you typed it in the group registration details section. In the club category section, select the same category you chose earlier. You will be asked, is your organization affiliated with a national organization or a campus department? If yes, answer the question, what is your campus department or national affiliation? Make sure this matches what's written in your Constitution. You will then agree to the following. A copy of the Constitution for your external affiliation is required to be placed in the File section of your club's portal. Once the club has been provisionally approved, you will need to do the following. Select your club from the Organization dropdown, select Files in Dashboard, select Upload, and if one does not already exist, create a folder titled National/Regional Constitution, and then upload a Word or PDF copy. Now, if you are connected to a campus department or you know your organization does not have a national or regional constitution, then you are required to send a message to your sole advisor and let them know that this requirement does not apply to you and the reasoning as to why. If you do not upload a constitution or do not message your sole advisor and make them aware of any exceptions to this requirement, then your organization registration will be on hold until you take action. If your answer to the original affiliation question is no, simply select no, then click Next on the bottom right of the page. The Officer and Member Information section requires officer details again, but this time it does not autofill. You will need to re-enter your officer information. Enter the President and Treasurer's full name, student ID, CSUS email, and phone number. You will be asked, do you have additional officers? If yes, enter their full details exactly as before. If no, select No and move on to the next page by clicking Next on the bottom right corner of your screen. Reminder, you can review Group Details section by clicking the drop-down bar above to double-check their order. This next page is the Additional Information section. You will agree to the following statement. Once this organization has received provisional approval, I certify that my roster will be updated within my club's portal to reflect all current student members of the organization, and that we will maintain it accurately throughout the academic year. As a reminder, instructions to upload your roster to CampusGroups are linked above. You are expected to get that done after you have provisional approval. Once you're ready, click I agree. Now that you have agreed to this statement, the next question you will need to answer is how many student members are in your club. Enter the number of how many student members are in your club. This number will need to match what you have uploaded to your Campus Groups portal. If you noted that you have community members in your constitution, then you need to indicate how many. As a reminder, community members may not exceed 20% of your total membership. If you do have community members in your club, make sure to add how many they are in this text box. You will then be asked, does your organization have any property in its control? If yes, you will then be asked, is this property a storage unit? If your answer to the second question is no, please provide the exact address of any rented, leased, or written agreement properties. You can add the address here in this text box. If it is a storage unit, then select Yes. If your organization does not have any property in its control, make sure to click No in the first question. Once you have addressed that question, click Next on the bottom right corner of your screen. The Faculty Staff Advisor section is the last section of the form. This section autofills your advisor's name. Start typing their name and double-check their email to ensure you are adding the correct individual. As a reminder, once you submit this form, your advisor has additional items they need to do. Don't forget to review the section right above titled "To Assist Your Faculty Staff Advisor, Please Share the Steps Below with Them." Before you submit, go back and double-check your entries. Make sure your club name, officer details, and constitution information are correct. When everything is ready, click Submit Form for approval. And that's it! You've successfully completed your group re-registration form. If you have any questions or need assistance, feel free to reach out to your sole advisor. Thanks for watching!